This classic episode of the Electric Playground is brought to you by P&P Games, your source for everything video games. Support the partners that support Electric Playground. Remember, this episode first aired in 2000. This week on Electric Playground, we take a look at Metal Gear Solid 2 for PlayStation 2. We look at the latest Capcom games. We go on location with Indiana Jones. And Tommy and Vic review games from the tube.
People think of Capcom, they think of great fighting games. Nowadays, Capcom does a lot more than just fighting games.
All right, I'm with Matt Atwood from Capcom.
No!
And we got 19,000 games to talk about today. You guys got a lot of stuff coming out. What's your biggest game for 2000, you think?
On one hand, we've got Onimusha, which is beautifully done.
Yep.
It's based in feudal Japan.
Yep.
So it's set back in the time of the great feudaling states where kingdoms were fighting against kingdoms and samurai, and it's very, very cool. It uses a similar engine as Resident Evil, but that's pretty much where it stops. So you've got the enemies who will do a lot more like flipping over you, just trying to get behind you. You'll face a lot. It's a lot more action-oriented.
Dino Crisis 2.
Dino Crisis 2 features a lot more action. In fact, you now run and shoot. There's 10 different types of dinosaurs. You play as the sexy Regina and a new character named Dylan. It's not a suspenseful game anymore. It's a game.
Let's talk about a Dreamcast title. Let's talk about Power Stone 2.
I mean, it's one of the buzzes of the show.
Yeah.
If you see these levels, they're so incredibly interactive, it'll blow your mind. Not only do you fight 4 people, but you can use the backgrounds completely and get in them. Like there's turrets that you can get up and blow away the other characters. But it's also done in a very cartoony, like fun, goofy way.
Spawn, the arcade. You're working with Todd McFarlane's group.
Yeah, McFarlane actually has been quoted often as saying he's quite pleased with the game, which is wonderful because McFarlane is very picky.
Is the gameplay kind of like a Final Fight game?
I would say a Quake or an Unreal style.
Really?
I want to call it first person, but it's really third person, but the camera sits right behind the person. So it technically is third person, and it has a sort of tournament deathmatch feel using all of very, very detailed and very exact looking Spawn characters.
What a lineup you guys got, man. I can't wait to play these games this year.
I'm going crazy.
David Siller has been involved with the video game industry pretty much since its inception. He's worked on games such as Crash Bandicoot and Aero The Acrobat. Now, I had a chance to talk to David about his past and what he's working on next. I'm here with a great friend of mine, Dave Siller, and we are talking about this man as a gaming legend, really. Now, you're probably, would you say, your most famous product that you helped create and design would be Crash Bandicoot.
Absolutely.
People out there may have heard of this game.
That's right.
Now, when you were creating it back then, did you ever think it was going to be as big as it was going to get?
We really didn't know at the time that we were doing something that was going to be that smashing. I mean, we were really trying to do a 3D or fully polygonal game, but with very classic gameplay.
Right. Something simple.
Yeah, we wanted
Nothing too
people, we wanted
complex.
everyone to be able to play this game.
You created a character and designed a character at Sunsoft.
That's right.
Aero The Acrobat.
That's right. Well, I wanted to do a game where you had a cartoon character that did flying and stunts and could do all kinds of cool things in the air and interact with enemies that were flying and floating. But my original inspiration was Mighty Mouse. Here I come to save the day!
Any plans to bring Aero back into the 3D world?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yes, I've been planning this for a long time, and I've just been waiting for the right set of hardware. Aero will come back as probably, it'll be now called the A to Z Force. It'll have Aero and Zero and a host of new characters.
What is it that you love about making video games the most?
I love people enjoying playing the games that I've helped design or create or produce.
You're here To please the people.
That's right.
Excellent.
To please the people and to have fun playing games.
When did you guys start development on the PlayStation 2 version?
Including our basic experimenting stages, we go back like a year.
Visit our website at www.electplay.com.
Yeah, I got a girl I'm crushing on right now. Used to date one of my rivals, though. We just junction so well together, you know? I met her at P&P Games. She said I was the best looking guy there.
We have a preview of one of the most highly anticipated games for the PlayStation 2. It's Metal Gear Solid 2!
We're joined by Mr. Hideo Kojima, who is the creator of Metal Gear Solid for the PlayStation. Can you tell us about the reaction to the first Metal Gear Solid game?
The game was very well received in Europe and in the US, actually more than in Japan. And I was very surprised. I did not expect this. I come from a background where I've always enjoyed US and European music and movies, and I guess that came out and got into the game.
From the time that you had the inspiration for bringing back the Metal Gear Solid game, how long did it take until you had the idea for it till it was on the shelves?
The original Metal Gear came out like 14 years ago on a two-dimensional machine. And that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted a 3D game, a 3D environment with, you know, light effects, shadow effects. When the PlayStation came out, I said to myself, this is the machine that where I can, you know, do it. And that's when I came up with the idea for Metal Gear Solid 1 for the PlayStation.
One of the best things about the original Metal Gear Solid was its use of accurate weapons and gadgets, and you can use them in all kinds of unique and imaginative ways. Are you going to be doing the same thing with this new game?
There will be a lot of items and weapons, just like in the first Metal Gear Solid. Some of them will be existing weapons, some of them will be imaginary weapons based on current technology, and then the third kind will be weapons that will just be fun in the game.
So what was your ultimate goal with the design for Metal Gear Solid 2?
What I want to do is create a 3D world. I want our people to enjoy the game and also be able to interact with the object at the same time, feel the temperature, the moisture, the air in the game, to enjoy the presence, the atmosphere.
How you're going to use the analog buttons on the PlayStation 2 controller in the new game?
If you want Snake to crawl quickly, you just press on, up on the button quickly, he'll just go very quickly. Right. And if you want him to use his gun quickly, if you press the button quickly, he'll just point his gun quickly.
Thank you very much for your time today. The world can't wait for your game. It's going to be great.
Snake is back.
Snake is back. Excellent.
We spoke to David Hayter. He's the guy who's the voice for Solid Snake in Metal Gear Solid. He also wrote the X-Men movie.
All right, we're here with David Hayter, the voice of Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid. How did you get hooked up with Konami to do a project that's so amazing?
Well, I didn't know that it was so amazing. I just got called in by the director, Chris Zimmerman, who was directing the English voice talent, and I knew her because I had done a show called Captain Planet. I went in and they just had pictures of all the characters and all, the conceptualized drawings and everything, and I started to get that it was pretty cool. But I still didn't know how big it was until I actually got the job, and then I went in and people were saying, oh, this is going to be huge, and then they handed me the script, which was about 500 pages thick. And I was playing one night and Snake got hit by something and he goes, ah, like this, and it's me, and it sort of was a little jolting, so.
Now, you obviously don't sound like Solid Snake right now.
No.
Did you have some inspiration for the character that you were trying to achieve?
When I auditioned, I just sort of did a generic sort of tough guy voice like this, and I really knew what the attitude was. You could just see it coming off his posture.
Come on, you gotta give us a quote.
I never knew an analyst of military technology would be so cute. So that's
Well, we're definitely looking for your return, though, in Metal Gear Solid 2.
Yes, well, we're discussing that right now. People from Konami have contacted me and said they wanted me to do it, which was great.
So now, big fame with the X-Men movie.
I don't know how much fame the writer gets, but it's, but...
Okay, let me rephrase that. Big money.
Well, that's possible. The coolest part of my job on X-Men was I had an expense account with the comic book shop, so I just go and buy stacks of titles, and I really got into it again, and it's really an incredible area of entertainment that I think has been pretty much untapped.
Dying to see an X-Men sequel, not to mention a Metal Gear Solid 2 Solid Snake with your voice.
Yes, well, and thank you, and I'm dying to do both of those things.
Cool, we're here with Jason from Tips and Tricks. He's got some Game Boy tips for us.
That's right. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, one of my favorite shows of all time on the WB. And I've got an ending scene code that lets you view the ending without even playing the game. Input GH9MRY, and you can...
Visit our website at www.electplay.com.
Hey, what's your favorite video game of all time? No way, that's mine too! Celebrate video games along with myself and Victor Lucas every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Time on youtube.com/EPNTV. Brought to you in part proudly by PNP Games. Play forever!
Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine is coming to the N64, courtesy of LucasArts. Now, you know, I was thinking to myself the other day, every single segment we've ever shown with LucasArts has had a lightsaber in it, right? Why change now? Dun, 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 dun. No, that's not. Dun, 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 dun. Oh. Dun, 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 dun. How about... We're here at LucasArts with Wayne, talking about Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine. Now, this game was done originally on the PC.
That's right.
But now, the one we're talking about is for...
the N64. I think we found that to play this game on the console, it's a lot more suited for the console. The game is just a lot more action-based and just feels better, more intuitive on the console than on the PC.
So let me ask you this. What are the main differences from the PC version to the Nintendo version?
Well, we've got a whole new camera control on the PC. The camera was always right behind Indy. Now it's more camera relative, kind of like on Zelda, where when you run around, the camera stays in one spot. You get to see Indy from all different angles.
Right.
And we've got a whole new control set on screen. You see the button controls on the screen, so you always know what buttons you press, what they're going to do. We've got a whole new targeting system, so it just makes the game a lot more faster moving, a lot more action-based.
Well, let me ask you this. Were there any problems that you encountered while creating this game?
Actually, Tommy, that's an interesting story. Thanks. I'll take that.
Hey, it's time for the Tekken Tag Tournament Move of the Week! This week we got one for you from Wang and Yoshimitsu. Get ready, it's the Skyrocket, then the Tag, and then the Moonsault Slayer. Ha ha ha! Alright, get ready for this one. Forward, down, down, forward, right kick, tag, down, down, forward, forward, left punch! Hit him hard, baby, hit him hard! Ha!
I actually like the Tekken-style fighting games and the Soul Calibers and those kinds of fighters. And Ultimate Fighting has that kind of technique to it.
Visit our website at www.electplay.com.
You'll enter a pipe to begin. Until you pass the first row of 8 walls, you'll only have to deal with Goombas. A cinch. In fact, you can mash the first 2 with 1 jump. The row of... Oh, hi, Lee from PNP Games here, formally welcoming you, in the future, to the 5th season of the Electric Playground Classic. I'd like to extend a massive thank you on behalf of Vic, myself, and our combined families at EPN and Past and Present Games for your continued support. Returning to a Saturday morning routine and never missing an episode of the Electric Playground is made that much more special by being able to share the experience live with fans and fellow gaming enthusiasts. Watch or re-watch EP Classic, share the good word, and if you're able, shop PNPGamesOnline.com, your source for everything video games. We're just getting started. Play forever!
I'm here to talk about Ghosts and Goblins on the Game Boy Color. Now, this game was done by the Digital Eclipse guys. Those are the cats who've done like all the old arcade games. They did Spy Hunter, Moon Patrol, Defender, Joust. They do excellent jobs with games. This one's no exception. It is exactly like the old school Ghosts and Goblins. So basically you're a knight in shining armor and you have to rescue the princess, throwing daggers, and you toss fireballs, and you have really impossible jumps to make, and it's pretty frustrating, but challenging nonetheless. And this one will keep you busy for hours and hours, and thank God they have a password system. I give it a 7.9 out of 10. Ghosts and Goblins, check it out. It's even got the old music, listen.
Reviews on the Run is brought to you by Microplay, where the games begin.
So what do you think of this location, man?
It's like the biggest hamster tube I've ever seen. What is this? What do you got me going here?
We're in the biggest hamster tube you've ever seen.
Well, speaking of hamster tubes,
Yeah.
Ultimate Fighting Championship on the Dreamcast.
Very cool game.
Yeah, to me, it has by far the best ring entrance walk introduction.
I actually like the Tekken-style fighting games and the Soul Calibers and those kinds of fighters. And Ultimate Fighting has that kind of technique to it. I didn't want to enjoy the game as much as I did after I saw that video stuff, but I really did. It was a really fun game.
I mean, and again, it's all about, you know, grabbing guys and throwing them.
Yeah.
And they got all sorts of different styles, too. They have all, you know, different
wrestling,
fighting
jiu-jitsu,
styles.
and really, it's not just throw as many punches as you can. You really have to time your punches and
wear
get
out
in
your
with the
opponents.
attacks.
Overall, I give the game an 8.2.
This is a great game. I'm giving it an 8.5 out of 10. Definitely check it out. All right, now what'd you think of Fighter's Destiny 2 on the Nintendo 64? What'd you think?
You know, the first one was really bad. Believe it or not, this one's worse.
I didn't hate the first one. I had an okay time with it.
Oh, by far, the worst part of the game, I thought, was not the controls or the graphic, but the sound.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, let's do it. The people who made this game obviously don't like playing video games, really just doing this for a paycheck or something.
It's not all horrible, though. They do have one cool idea in the game, and that is
the point system.
Yeah, the point system is cool. You get more points for the varying attacks that you have. It's not just like kill your life meter and knock the person out.
Right.
I'm giving this 4.5 out of 10.
I give it a 3.
All right, let's talk about Sega GT for the Dreamcast from Sega.
Gran Turismo came out. It's a great game. Best driving game ever a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So this is Sega basically saying, well, that game was popular, so let's completely rip it off. They have all the, you know, you gotta get your license. Geez, where'd they get that idea?
Yeah.
And they have used car garage and buy new cars.
But you know what? I found
more money.
I found the gameplay in this one a little easier to get into. It doesn't have that sort of difficulty level that Gran Turismo does.
The problem
so you can start acquiring money quicker, and you can start buying cars quicker and tuning things up.
See, I don't want to tune my car. I don't buy a video game so I can buy a car in it and then have to tune it up. Why? I got my. That's too real life.
I can understand why people like that, though.
But you know, you got the Dodge Viper you can get in there, the Audi TT,
there's some cool cars.
There's some.
It's like 130 cars. Plus you can build your own. So what do you give Sega GT, man?
7.4.
I'd give it a 7.5.
Speaking of racing games and fighting games.
Yes.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yes.
Let's review that.
Perfect
Second
example.
edition. This is for the PlayStation.
And I wish that it stayed on the PC.
But I completely disagree with you. My dad doesn't play too many video games, you know, but he wanted to play this game and he loved playing this game.
The TV show it's a one-player deal, so that's what you get at the home game is you get to
One
watch
person.
somebody else
go for
the $1 million bucks. And
what
how
they do
fun is that?
What they do is if you hit 2 players, you actually have like a quick finger thing, just like in the TV show.
I'll give this game a quick finger.
And
they got the trappings of the show in there very well.
But they have the poll the audience thing. What they did is they actually took an internet poll of every single question. And as far as the phone call thing, they actually did a phone call for every single question in the entire game.
I couldn't handle waiting for these stupid cut sequences to happen and Regis to come back.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
I give it an 8.0. An 8? An 8.
Oh my.
I give this game an 8. It's fun.
I'm giving this a 2.5.
Oh!
Stay the heck away from this thing.
How can you even
Don't
say
even
that?
go near this. It's not a rental.
Baloney.
If you see it,
Baloney.
shield your eyes. Okay, what'd you think of Metal Fatigue for the PC? Where you can't win $1 million no matter how much you play.
I am so sick of these mediocre games. Okay, you can zoom in and you can zoom out.
A couple more cool features about
And it's
this
like
game.
this anime mech thing that I don't like.
The thing about Metal Fatigue is that, yes, it is a traditional real-time strategy game where there's lots of resource management. You're building all your units. You're taking on 2 other kinds of opponents who have their own technology trees. It's the same kind of thing you've seen in Command & Conquer or Warcraft. The different levels add a degree of difficulty and challenge to it. You have to keep track of where all your units are on all these different parts of the world, which gets kind of complicated.
It gets kind of boring.
But the redeeming thing about this game is the cool mechs that are in the game. They have big swords and plasma shields, and they can get electro hands and zap their opponents and stuff.
The other problem I have with the thing is that the graphics are nothing new at all. As a matter of fact, they look about 2 years ago.
Well, that's the thing. The game was supposed to be out last year, but because of the problems with Psygnosis,
it shows.
It just came out now. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10.
He's big on the zooming in and out.
I love the mouse wheel zoom.
5.8. I mean, it's average at best.
Let's talk about a couple of peripherals that work well, especially with real-time strategy games like this. The first one is the Sidewinder Strategic Commander.
Okay, what it is...
What it is?
You kind of use it as a macro.
Yeah.
So if you have to hit Control, Space, H to get to a certain menu, you can program that in and just have it be on one button. The problem really is that you have to memorize what you program the buttons to be, and that kind of is just as complicated.
I used it for playing Diablo 2, which was, really cool, because I was able to run and do all kinds of things with it. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I like it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I give it a 6.9.
Yeah.
It's a good device for what it is. Does everyone need to have one? No.
There's another peripheral that we should talk about. It's called the Game Voice, also from Microsoft.
Basically, it's a microphone that talks to your computer, right?
Yeah. It kind of works like the Strategic Commander. I mean, you map the button keys to your voice commands. And I was able to, get the thing to automatically build a house in Age of Kings. I was just yelling at the computer, build house, and my little dudes would run around building houses. The best feature on this thing is if you were working with other players that have a game voice as well, you can set up separate channels so that only you and your pals can talk on specific channels.
To each other. That's probably cooler than the other part of it because, when you're playing, triple play on your PC, you don't want to go, swing!
No.
Swing!
No, it's not for every game.
Bunt!
It's a nifty thing, looks cool by your computer. It works. 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm at about 7.2, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah. What's that?
That's a 50-foot hamster.
Oh.
Hamster! Ah!
You can find all the games featured in Reviews on the Run and hundreds more at all Microplay locations across North America and at microplay.com. Production assistance for Electric Playground is provided by Namco, makers of Tekken Tag Tournament for PlayStation 2.
This classic episode of the Electric Playground was brought to you by PNP Games, your source for everything video games. Support the partners that support the Electric Playground. Thanks for watching, and play forever.